A 14-year-old girl found a Roblox game on a Thursday night where strangers were standing in a quiet circle around her own avatar laid out on the ground. Her real name was in the description. Her family did not know. Watch it until the end. Chloe was 14, and she was the kind of girl who never raised her hand in class. She had short brown hair and one good friend named Maya and a younger sister named June. She played Roblox most evenings after she finished her homework at her family's kitchen table. She was not popular at her school. She was not unpopular either. She was just quiet. On a Thursday in March, she was searching for a new Brookhaven server to play with her sister. A game came up in the search results that she had never seen before. It was called Memorial Walks. The thumbnail showed a soft gray space with candles glowing on the ground in a small circle. Chloe clicked on it because it looked peaceful. She thought it was probably some kind of community space. The game loaded. She walked her avatar forward through a digital archway covered in white flowers. Inside the archway was a long, quiet hall with rows of names written along the walls. Each name had a small Roblox avatar beside it. The avatars were not moving. They were standing very still. Chloe walked slowly down the hall. She read the names without really thinking about what they meant. She reached the end of the hall and turned the corner. There was one more avatar at the very end. The avatar was lying on the ground, not standing. The pose was the kind of pose a body would be in. The name above the avatar was her name. Her real name. Her full real name from the school directory. Chloe stared at the screen for a very long time before she did anything at all. She did not scream. She did not call her sister. She just sat at her desk in the half-dark. The avatar on the screen looked exactly like her own avatar. Same hair, same shirt, same shoes. The name was definitely her name. There was no other Chloe at her school. She had checked once for a project. She scrolled back through the hall slowly and read each of the 12 names along the walls. She knew 8 of them. They were girls from her grade, girls who had also never been popular. The other 4 she did not know personally, but the schools listed under their names were nearby. Underneath each name was a short description. The description said things like, "Missed by everyone she pretended to know." Under Chloe's name, the description was longer. It said, she did not even notice nobody was waiting for her. Chloe read that line 3 times. She did not cry. She did not move. She just closed her laptop very gently. She did not sleep that night. She did not eat breakfast the next morning. She went to school and said nothing. What started happening over the next 4 weeks was the part of this story, the part that no adult in her life understood at first. It came slowly and quietly. Chloe stopped raising her hand even less. She stopped eating lunch in the cafeteria. She started losing weight in a way her mother noticed, but Chloe refused to talk about at home. Her grades dropped from A's to C's in 3 weeks. Her counselor scheduled a meeting that Chloe skipped twice. Maya stopped getting texts back. Maya thought she had done something wrong. She started crying at her own kitchen table. June, Chloe's younger sister, was the one who finally figured it out, but not in the way anyone expected. June was 11. She was loud and bright and could not stand being ignored, especially by her sister. She knocked on Chloe's bedroom door every single night for 2 weeks straight. She did not stop knocking. On a Tuesday in April, she sat outside the door for 3 full hours before Chloe opened it. June did not say anything when she came in. She just sat on the bed and waited. Chloe finally opened her laptop. She showed June the game. She did not have to explain. June saw the hall. June saw her sister's name. June saw the description under it. June did not cry. June got angry in a way Chloe had never seen her sister get angry before. She said one sentence. She said, "We are showing this to Mom, and we are showing it tonight." Chloe tried to argue. June was already walking down the stairs with the open laptop in her hands. Their mother was washing dishes at the sink. June set the laptop down on the kitchen counter. She said, "Mom, somebody has been pretending Chloe is dead online for a month." Their mother sat down on the kitchen floor for almost a full minute. Then she stood up. She called the school principal that same evening. She called the local police the next morning. What the police told the family that Friday afternoon was the part of the story that nobody was ready to hear. The Memorial Walk server was not new. It had been online for almost 6 months before Chloe found it. There were not 12 names on the wall. There were 47. Across 9 different schools in the area, the 4 girls Chloe did not recognize had already been to school counselors. 2 had stopped attending school. 1 had been hospitalized for severe insomnia and anxiety 3 weeks before Chloe ever saw the server. The server had been creating what investigators called social death memorials targeting teenage girls. The investigation had been quietly open for 2 months. The police had been 1 piece of evidence away from arrest. The boy who had built the Memorial Walk server was 15 years old. He went to Chloe's school. His name was Brandon. He sat 2 rows behind Chloe in social studies. She had never spoken to him. Brandon had built the server alone in his bedroom over 6 months on a laptop his father had bought him for school. He had spent 11 minutes on each memorial. He had researched each girl through public school records and yearbooks. He had written every description himself. He had chosen the pose. He had set the lighting. He had never once messaged any of the girls directly. He had never threatened any of them out loud. He had only built the hall and made the link available. He had shared it on a Discord server he had created for boys from his school. About 30 boys had visited the memorial walks over 6 months. Some had laughed, some had not. None of them had told a single adult. None of them had told the girls whose names were on the walls. Brandon was arrested at his home on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, with his mother standing in the doorway crying. He told the police he had not thought of it as bullying. He said the girls had not even known the server existed. He said that made it different. He said it had been a private thing, a thing he did for himself when school felt too big to live inside. He did not understand, even at 15, why what he had built could break a girl who never met him. What the school did over the next 2 months was the part of the story that mattered more than the arrest. They started a program called Scene, where every student met with a counselor once a month, even the popular ones, especially the popular ones, who turned out to be just as lonely as Chloe, in different ways. The 47 girls received free therapy through the school district for the rest of the school year. Chloe started sleeping again about 6 weeks after the arrest. She started raising her hand again in late May. This is the part of the story that, if you are watching this, you should hear twice. Brandon did not hurt Chloe with his fists. He never came near her. He never threatened her body or her family. He hurt her with a sentence under her name in a game she found by accident. She did not even notice nobody was waiting for her. That sentence almost destroyed a 14-year-old girl over 4 weeks of silence in her own bedroom. This is the part nobody talks about with online bullying. The attack is not the worst part of it. The worst part is the moment the target reads the sentence and thinks, maybe that is what other people actually see. Chloe did not believe Brandon. Chloe believed the version of herself that Brandon had drawn. She believed it because part of her had already been afraid that it was true. Brandon did not invent her fear. He just gave it a face, and a hall, and a pose on the floor. That is why this kind of psychological attack works on teenagers especially. It does not have to be true to hurt. It only has to sound like the worst voice inside you. June, who was 11, did the one thing that broke the entire plan in a single sentence. She refused to let her sister stay alone in a room with the worst voice in her head. She sat outside the door. She knocked for 2 weeks. She did not give up. The 47 girls in that hall came back because somebody refused to let them stay there alone. Memorial walks worked because silence worked. Silence stopped working the second somebody else started talking. Chloe is 16 now. She has a tutor for math. She has a therapist she actually likes. She and June still share a bedroom on weekends, even though they each have their own room down the hall. If you are watching this, here is what Chloe learned, and what every girl on that wall learned the hard way. If somebody online writes something about you that lands too hard, that is not because they are right. It lands because part of you was already afraid of being seen that way. That is the trap. The cruel thing they wrote is not the truth about you. It is the truth about what they wanted you to believe. You are allowed to log off. You are allowed to close the laptop. You are allowed to walk away from a screen, but you are not allowed to do it alone. Find one person in your real life and show them what you saw. A parent, a sibling, a counselor, a friend's mom, a teacher, anyone in a real room with a real voice. Show them the screen and let them read the sentence with you. The sentence loses power when it is read out loud. That is the part of the trick that bullies do not want you to know about. The second thing Chloe learned is harder, and it is the thing June already knew at 11. If somebody you love starts going quiet, do not wait for them to come find you. Sit outside their door, knock for 2 weeks. Bring them down the stairs even if they want to disappear. The people building memorial walks are counting on you walking away when it gets uncomfortable. The whole thing falls apart the second one 11-year-old sister refuses to let go. 47 girls came back because one of them had a sister who would not stop knocking. Be the sister. Be the friend who keeps texting. Be the one who notices the empty chair. That is what siblings are for. That is what friends are for. That is the part of all of this that matters. Tell me your story. I'll read every response. If you've watched to the end, please like and subscribe so I can share more stories like this. See you later.